Hi, welcome to World Vision's introduction video to the Positive Deviance Hearth database based on Excel. My name is Diane Bake, and I'm a nutrition advisor for the Nutrition Center of Expertise with the Sustainable Health team at World Vision International. Today we'll be going through the limitations of the traditional method of collecting and monitoring Positive Deviance Hearth data and programs. And second, we will be going through the functions of the database and the benefits of using the database. And we'll also go through the rollout of our PDH database to date and future plans, and then go into a demonstration of our database in Excel. So we'll begin with the limitations of the traditional Positive Deviance Hearth data collection methods. Many times, monitoring is overlooked after rolling out or implementing a program, not specifically for PDH, but PDH is definitely included. The limitations with the traditional monitoring system include Positive Deviance Hearth monitoring indicators that are not well established. Data collected would usually be collected using pen and paper, and it's rarely entered into the computer. Data is prone to human error, and errors are not corrected in time. For example, if a child's weight was taken, and it took several months to enter the child's weight to finally identify that the weight is incorrect, it would be too late for us to go back to re-weigh the child because the time has passed and the child weighs differently. Data is also easily lost with frequent staff turnovers, and data is rarely analyzed to improve program quality. Data is also rarely fed back to the program level, especially at the ADP level, where the real difference can be made in program quality. Also, a major challenge is to get timely input to internal and external requests for Positive Deviance Hearth data at the regional, national, and global level. Many times, the people who are responsible for collecting the Positive Deviance Hearth data are mostly in the field, which they should be. But in the field, as you know, it's very difficult to get internet connection, or there might be no connection at all, and so it's difficult to access email. Thus, many discussions have gone back and forth on whether PDH is really effective and whether it really shows improvement, as data is very difficult to collect. As World Vision's Positive Deviance Hearth standardized programming began expanding, it became critical to address these limitations of data collection and to standardize the indicators across the World Vision partnership. The NCOE, World Vision's nutrition sector, piloted the Positive Deviance Hearth Excel-based database in 2014 to 2015. The new Excel PDH database allows World Vision to input initial nutrition assessments or the growth monitoring promotion data to identify the positive deviant, negative deviant, and non-positive deviant households for the PDI visits. So you would just have to enter in the weight of the child and the birth order and the wealth ranking, and it automatically tells you whether the household or the child is positive deviant, negative deviant, or non-positive deviant. Also, it allows you to input monthly PDH monitoring form data for PDH participant children and their follow-up. It generates clear summary tables, reports, and graphs in Microsoft Excel, including annual reports and summary tables for Hearth at the ADP district and regional level. And this is all done automatically. It also allows us to contextualize the data collection. In some countries, for example, they have the mild underweight status, whereas some countries do not. And so this database allows you to include mild or to exclude the mild underweight status. And I'll show you how to do that later. The functionalities of the PDH database can be seen on the bottom. You see the initial assessment, assessment curve, assessment report, monitoring form, table, annual report, graph for the follow-up, and so on. The benefits of using the PDH database include reports and graphs that can automatically be generated and then be used to assess the program quality and to assess the improvement of the underweight children and coverage. This also allows us to predict future trends. We can then see what areas need to be improved in our PDRS programs and what areas are doing really well. It also allows us to provide timely input to all internal and external requests for program data and reports, since it is now on a computer rather than on pen and paper. The data is also retained even with frequent staff turnovers if data is submitted to the zonal, regional, provincial, and national levels. We can also export the raw data into Excel for further analysis using various statistical softwares, which creates further opportunities for future operational research projects. The PDRS database also allows us to flag inaccurate or incorrect data, which addresses frequent human error in entering the data in Excel. It also uses the standardized PDRS indicators. So to just go through a little bit about the rollout of the PDRS database, by FY15, PDRS database was rolled out in 7 countries, including Bangladesh, Burundi, Kenya, Laos, Mozambique, Myanmar, and Nepal. By the end of FY16, all countries implementing PDRS will be required to use the PDRS database, which is 30 countries in total. The PDRS Health application and PDRS joint with Growth Monitoring and Promotion app are developed and have been piloted in Mozambique and Burundi, respectively, in FY13 to FY15. We are now waiting for the final evaluation to be completed in FY16 for Burundi. So what's next? We're going to have all countries implementing PDRS using this Excel-based PDRS database to report their FY16 PDRS data for the annual reports. We're also working on the data validation system in country. Also, we're planning to develop an online PDRS database similar to the online CNM database by the end of FY16. PDRS working groups will also be established to share findings and challenges. We also encourage master trainers to sign up on the GTRN system so that we can use the master trainers in different countries to train and conduct PDRS TOS. We are also planning to integrate the Positive Deviance Hearth database to Horizon. And now we'll go through the practical demonstration and take a look at the Excel PDRS database. As soon as you open the Positive Deviance Hearth database, this will be the very first sheet you see. It's an introduction to the PDRS database and goes through a brief introduction of every tab. The initial assessment is what is used when you first conduct the nutrition assessment and weigh all the children in the community to identify the PD, negative deviant, and non-positive deviant households. You would then select from the list of those children to conduct the PDIs. You can see on the top that there's a wealth ranking category. Depending on the country, you can choose what wealth ranking category fits best for you. So we have very poor, poor, rich, poor or non-poor, poorest, poor, vulnerable, micro-entrepreneurs, and above. I think Sri Lanka is the only country with 5 wealth ranking categories. So all other countries should fall under very poor, poor, rich, and poor or non-poor. The second thing you need to then take a look at is the nutritional status category. As you can see, the first has severe, moderate, mild, and normal. The one below only has severe, moderate, and normal, and does not have the mild. So if your country's growth charts don't include mild, we would select the bottom one, severe, moderate, normal. If your country includes miles, you would select the top. We could then work on entering in a child, let's say North Fork, Sunny, Rainbow. The date of the survey, let's say, was today. So it's date, month, and year. If your date, month, year does not work, then you need to go to your clock on the bottom of your computer and change the format of your time and date right here. So once you select the clock on the bottom right, this will show up, and you click on Change Date and Time, change calendar settings, and then you can choose what date format you want. So make sure you choose the date, month, year format. And the name of the child, let's say, is Nemo. Mother's name, Dory. Say, male. Date of birth, say it was a year ago. Birth order, let's say it's 2. And the current age is calculated automatically. So any column that you see where it's gray, you do not have to enter in any data. That means the numbers will be generated automatically. You can also see the current age in days. And the weight, we will enter 7.1. And once again, you can see that the underweight nutritional status was calculated automatically, and it says moderate. You would then enter the MUAC, especially for the severely underweight children, because severely underweight children can be also severely acutely malnourished, which in that case, you need to refer the child to a health center. And for wealth rank, you would choose between poor or non-poor. So let's say this child is non-poor. The classification comes up automatically and says it's a negative deviant child. You also put poor. And as you put poor, you can see this child is a non-PD child. Let's say this child is healthy, 9.1. This child is poor. You can see that this child is actually a positive deviant. If I change the birth order to 1, this child is normal, is poor, but this child is a non-positive deviant. Why? Because this child is a firstborn child. And you know that positive deviant children cannot be firstborn. You can then take a look at the assessment curve. The assessment curve is where we would see the children marked on a growth chart. So this is Nemo here. Then we would see an assessment report. So we can see the total number of children that were weighed here, and the total number of children that are normal for their underweight status, mild, moderate, and severe. You can see the corresponding graph on the right. Then we will move on to the monitoring form. So you can see in the monitoring form at the top, there's also a nutritional status category. Once again, you have the option of choosing with miles or without. So I will choose with miles once again. So let me enter in the same child say study info, Hearth name, Abby, name of child, Nemo, mother's name, Dory. Was this child dewormed? Yes. Vitamin A? Yes. Full immunization? Yes. The child had a green black. Gender is male. And the date of birth was last year. See the current age in months. And here you would enter in what round or session number this child is in. So if it's the child's very first time being admitted into Hearth, you would put 1. If the child is repeating Hearth, and this is the second time, we'll put 2. Let's say this child is in the first round. This question, returning from health center or hospital, yes or no. So this matters if the child is in the second or third round of Hearth. We would say no, this child is not returning. Now the entry date for Hearth, we will use 6 months for those dates. We enter the weight. You can see the age at day 1 and month. This child is severely underweight. And 12 days later, this child now weighs 5.2. As you can see, the weight is calculated automatically, the weight gain, which is 100 grams since day 1. This child is still severely underweight. And no, this child has not gained adequate weight gain of 200 grams or more. Let's say this child actually gained more weight of 5.4 kilograms. Now we can see that this child has gained 300 grams, but is still severely underweight. But yet, this child has gained adequate weight gain. The default reason column is for if this child defaulted, and we would enter in the reason for why this child defaulted. Since this child did not default, we'll leave it blank. Then, for a follow-up at day 30, we'll enter the child's weight. Once again, this child has gained 600 grams, and this is calculated automatically. This child is still underweight, but this child has gained adequate weight gain. The next action is continue to monitor. So now at 3 months. Let's say this child is 6.7. This child has now gained 1,600 grams, which is 1.6 kilograms, and this child is moderately underweight. So yes, this child has gained more than or equal to 900 grams, but this child does not graduate, and it says to repeat Hearth. This is because even though the child has gained adequate weight gain, this child is still moderately underweight and has not reached the mild or green, the green, which is normal. And the child can only graduate if this child is normal or mild at 3-month follow-up. So this child needs to repeat Hearth. And this child would repeat and go back to day 1. However, the session number would now be 2. And it will continue. Here you can see a selected table. And this is a short follow-up summary of the follow-ups at day 12, day 30, 3 months, 6 months, and 1 year. In Table 1, you can see the total number of children at follow-up after attending Hearth. At baseline, day 12, day 30, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year. And it's divided by the various nutritional status. In Table 2, it's the same data, but in percentage form. Table 3 tells us the breakdown of the reasons for the child defaulting from PD Hearth. And Table 4 allows us to see the number of children and the percent of children who improved in their nutritional status on day 12. Table 5 allows us to see the number and percentage of children who adequately or inadequately gained weight of greater than or equal to 200 grams and the average weight gain of the children on day 12. Table 6 and Table 7 are exactly the same as Table 4 and 5, but for day 30. And once again, Table 8 and 9 are for 3 months. 3 months is where we usually declare graduation. And so here you can see if the nutritional status of the children have changed to mild or healthy, the child would graduate. If not, then the child would not graduate. The one other scenario where a child would graduate is if the child was admitted as a mild underweight status and the child gains 900 grams or more at 3 months. Then this child would definitely graduate. On the graph follow-up table, you can see the nutritional status breakdown of the children at baseline, day 12, day 30, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, and it will divide up by the nutritional status. On the bottom here, it's the exact same graph, but presented in a different way. You'll see it. One's stacked bar graph and one is adjacent bar graph. The PDH report allows us to take all the indicators that are in the monitoring form and to select only the indicators that we are interested in looking at. For example, if we are interested in looking at the total number of children that graduated versus did not graduate, we would select the underweight nutritional status at 3 months, is now normal or mild, and we would just drag and drop. Then we would select that same indicator, drag, and drop under values. And this shows up. You can see graduated, only one, not graduated, there's only one child, because that's all we entered in. This 5,341 is the total number of children, the child ID numbers that have already been inputted. But there's no data, so that's why there isn't any more children here. For the annual report, we would select the fiscal year that this annual report is for. So if it's for FY17, you would select 2017. And the numbers get updated automatically. You would enter the ADP name, and the rest of the numbers, they get generated automatically. So you don't have to actually enter in anything here, other than the referral rows. So if you are keeping track of the total number of children that were referred to the health center, you can enter those numbers in here on a monthly basis. We will be making this automatic as well in the future. This graph for graduation or weight gain are pie charts. These are also automatically generated once you enter the data in the monitoring form. So you'll be able to see the percentage of children who graduated at day 12 and then the total number of children who, or the percentage of children who gained adequate weight at day 12, which is greater than or equal to 200 grams, and then greater than or equal to 400 grams at day 30, greater than or equal to 900 grams at 3 months. And the same for the top. And last but not least, we have the graph for defaults. And this would also be a bar graph. So you can see the distribution of the children who have defaulted and for the various reasons. So that brings us to the end of our Hearth database demonstration. So just to mention, World Vision is developing an online Hearth database at the moment. And we are working on a functionality where you can upload these Excel spreadsheets so that the data you have already entered onto Excel-based database can be automatically inputted online, and you do not have to re-enter the data. However, the catch is that you need to use the exact same template for every country. So it's highly recommended not to modify the templates that we have right now, and we will be uploading those in the next year to the online database. Thank you for listening, and if you have any questions, you can email me at diane_bake@worldvision.ca. Thank you.